boys? Daddy's back, bitches!
Yeah, you already know what the fuck going on. It's your motherfucking boy, Papabandana, back at it again with another motherfucking. I know a lot of you are probably asking, Papa, where's the Ohms video? And
I didn't finish it.
as I was editing the video for Ohms, I kept asking myself how this could work or what would be the next step after this video gets published. And I realized that if I just kept doing reaction videos, it'd get pretty stale. Let's not front. Most of the time you see a reaction video, the guy's either just standing there doing nothing or he gives very little input. So I thought instead of just reviewing Ohms, why don't I rank the entire Deftones discography? Besides B-sides. Because no shame to you, B-sides, no shame to you. Compared to their other work though, it's not even up there. So let's just put it to the side and just say, B-sides, I like the acoustic version of Be Quiet and Drive, pound right there, but you're not on the list. I'm sorry. With that being said, I don't think Gore is that replayable. Now, before any of you old heads or diehard Deftones fans go at me by saying, you probably heard from Deftones from TikTok, you only look around this you're a fucking cringy Gen Zer. I never said the album was bad. All that I'm saying is that in terms of replayability, this album just isn't it for me personally. That does not mean that the greatest songs on here are not good. The problem is the rest of the songs that aren't those songs. Maybe because I was inebriated while I first heard it, I wasn't the best of fans, but even when sober, it just didn't hit at all. But like I said, the greatest tracks on here are still great regardless of how very lukewarm or mediocre the rest of the album is. In terms of every other album that's out on this list, Gore is the lowest, putting them at D tier. It's kind of similar to how I described Gore, but there are smaller moments and even like not the greatest of songs that kind of make up for the entirety of the album. Like the ending of Pompeii, although I don't really care for a majority of the song, the ending with the synths is just like chef's kiss. I cannot tell you just how much I love that it transitions from the synths into the beginning of This Link Is Dead, because it's good. It's really good. I'm guessing if you've wanted more of Gore, then Ohms kind of does the job. So for that aspect, I'm just gonna put it right above Gore. I don't listen to the self-titled front to back like in one sitting. That's just something I can't do. Because although it has some really great songs, as an entire album, it could be better. There's quality in the record, don't get me wrong. If you want a Deftones album to work out to, I wouldn't mind you using this one as well, because it does have some pretty good fucking tracks. Songs like Needles and Pins and When Girls Telephone Boys just hit the right amount of aggression for you to get that last fucking set in. I can't even lie to you guys, when I'm fucking struggling with the set, I will put on When Girls Telephone Boys, put it right to the fucking chorus where Chino just starts screaming his head off. I get the fucking PR every time. Songs that I would recommend that have a little bit more emotion and a lot more emphasis to their sound would have to go to Minerva, Battle Axe, and Deathblow, because they hit the right spots. They just hit so damn well, and I can't not love it. Anniversary of an Uninteresting Event is definitely a very great Deftones track, and I recommend you listen to it. It's a big upgrade compared to, Ohms and Gore for me personally, but it's still not an album that I can listen to front to back and like fully enjoy. It's barely grabbing onto that great album. It's just stuck at pretty good for now. Because of that, I'm gonna have to put it at C. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I don't really listen to this album as much either, but there are some really great fucking tracks that I think you'd be missing out on if you dismiss this entire thing off as just nothing more but another Deftones record. The run from Hole in the Earth all the way to Cherry Waves is phenomenal, and the first time I heard it, I actually thought I was going to ascend into the heavens of God. Surge provides a feature that's short enough but memorable to the point where it kind of makes me like Maine, even though the majority of the song is just not that great in my honest opinion. The Konami Code song, while not one that I like to replay as much, it's very soothing and helps calm down the mood of the entire album, helping it transition more fluently into Xerxes, which is, don't kill me now, one of my least favorite Deftones songs ever. Listen, when Chino hits that motherfucking goodbye, I can't not just pause it and think to myself, why? And although I wish I could say that's the only part that I kind of dislike about Saturday Night Wrist, Pink's cell phone comes up and just ruins an entire song with the last few seconds remaining on the track. I didn't need to know about heart carling and butt fucking in the exact same song. I was too fixated on the transcending motions of the track that when you bring that shit up, it literally ruined the entire mood for me. Fuck you guys for that. But then it picks up a little bit more in pace with Combat, and then Kim Dracula comes in with its beautiful guitars, and Riviera comes in with a beautiful and just majestic soundscape that I just can't help but fawn over. I don't really have any strong opinions about Drive, and I'm not really going to count bonus tracks when it comes to deducting points. So for the most part, although I don't replay it as much, there's still a lot of enjoyment to be found in this album, and for that reason alone, it's a fucking B. I'm gonna say right now, the biggest complaint about this album is just that it's too spacious and I can't really necessarily rock out to it. While Swerve City isn't necessarily the greatest of openers in my personal opinion, when Romantic Dreams kicks in, and then you get Leathers, then you get Poltergeist, and then Entomb just comes in to wrap you up with like a very warm fucking blanket, dude, it's like the forerun on Saturday Night Wrist. It's just that the intro's just not that great in my opinion, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. Also, Graphic Nature, it's a song. But then Tempest comes in and brings it in with that high fucking energy, especially with the headbanging fucking finale. It's good. It's so fucking good. You get Gaze, which literally makes me ascend. And of course you have Rosemary, which, man, this shit fucks. That's all I can really say about Rosemary. I know a lot of people like to give in-depth analysis of Rosemary because it's that good of a song, but I'm gonna tell you right now, just listen to it. Not a single word that I can say will ever do that track justice. Just listen to it. My porn rotten brain will never let me say this title right without getting a little smile, but Goon Squad Goon Squad is a really great fucking track. Specifically after following up Rosemary, it holds up by itself pretty fucking well. And then of course you have the last track, What Happened to You, which is, man, if Rosemary wasn't there, it would have been like my top pick for the most beautiful song off this album. I know I'm putting it at B because I don't really listen to it as often and it's not in my constant rotation, but if you're new to Deftones, please listen to this album. And with all that being said, I just can't put it anywhere but high B because these next fucking albums just, they stick with me, man. They stick. If there was a contest to pick the best named album, Adrenaline would take it by a fucking ashngol. With Bored alone, they are setting up the atmosphere and the tempo of this album in tenfold. Even though 1 week starts off pretty slow and tame, as it grows and builds to the chorus, oh my god, bro, I love it. I just can't get enough of it. Nosebleed literally feels like a nosebleed in action because it's all just a rush to the head with how much shit is thrown at you at once. I specifically like the ending where Chino just starts spazzing out with screaming, and it's lovely, man. It's a really good time. Lifter is very underrated. I don't know what it is about y'all, but y'all gotta get your shit together because Lifter absolutely fucking slaps, and whoever says otherwise literally doesn't like having fun. That song is great. I love it. I encourage every single one of you to listen to the live version of Root because it just fucking hits. I wish they would have left in Chino absolutely losing his mind at the beginning of the track because it just fits so well. I can hear him screaming his goddamn lungs out right now, and it's so fucking good, man. 7 words. Do I really need to say more? Birthmark is good. Very good. Inspire, I Will Lie. Sensational. Engine number 9 is just, I want to hear this song live. I want to hear it live. I need to hear it live. I want to get into the mosh pit, probably lose my front tooth, and just lose my damn head with this song. This is my crack, okay? Like, this is the crack I desire. The only real dud in this album is For Real because, it just kind of feels a bit out of place. That isn't to say that the bonus track Fist is bad. No, Fist absolutely slaps. I don't know why they didn't put it on physical releases, but you know what? At least it's here. At least it's on streaming, and god damn it, am I not in love with that goddamn track. So yeah, 10 out of the 11 tracks I actually dig. It's not bad. And considering the fact that I actually have the physical release on me, it's safe to say I pretty much like this fucking album. It's fucking great. I love it. If you want to hear the real and raw Deftones, you're gonna listen to Adrenaline. This album inspired me to do metal vocals, and you know, I don't think I'll ever do them as good as Chino, but man, am I gonna at least try because the shit that he pulls off on this damn album is goddamn spectacular. Oh my goodness. And with that, I'm gonna put Adrenaline at A because it's Adrenaline. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the top 3 on the list. I don't think a lot of people expected me to put Diamond Eyes up this high along with White Pony and Around the Fur. Initial reactions, I would have probably put this at maybe B or very high C. The more I listen to this album, the more I realize just how beautifully produced it is. Like take Diamond Eyes for example, the first track on this album. That chorus was made by some other fucking beings, because I cannot believe with my own ears that a human made a soundscape this fucking beautiful. It's luscious in its detail, and it just feels all the more spacious, making it easier for you to feel immersed in the world the band is trying to portray. And then you get Royals that basically socks you in the jaw and tells you, hey motherfucker, we're still aggressive, don't get it twisted now. You get one of Chino's longest screams ever recorded on fucking tape. And although Command Control is my least favorite, that doesn't mean that it's bad in any way. I just think compared to the amount of bangers this album has, it kind of falls behind, but it's still great. I do not recommend skipping over it. You've seen The Butcher just comes in with a very gruddy and very intimidating intro just for it to all explode into this very wide soundscape, and I love it. I love it. It's good.
I don't really know how to fully describe Prince. I'm just gonna say that words can't really do it justice. I recommend you listen to the song. I initially thought I would get tired of the screaming on rocket skates, but I just going to love it even more, and I don't know why.
How could we fucking talk about this album without mentioning Sex Tape? If there is any song out this album that you should listen to, please make it Sex Tape. This shit is beyond gorgeous. The guitars, the drums, the fucking vocals provided by Chino. It's all just a beautiful blend, and I honestly do not know how I lived most of my life without hearing this song. This song has put me into tears. Risk follows up with a more somber approach, and you know, it's pretty good. I can't really complain much about that song, but yeah, it's just pretty good. The fade out from Risk into 97.6 Evo, it blended in so well. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even realize we transitioned. Some people online have theorized that this song is not just about a woman of the night, but it's actually about Chi Chang during his coma. Regardless of what the intent was for this song, it's still beautiful. Like I said, words can't really do justice to any of these songs because I'm horrible at explaining it, but you just have to experience it for yourself. And with that being said, this is going to be placed at a high A. And now we're down to 2. I just can't help but fall in love with it every single time. I mean, can you really blame me though? This album is considered one of the band's best, if not the best, and it's clear to see why. From the production by Terry Dates, to the addition of Frank Delgado as an official member of Deftones, to how these songs are fucking made, oh my god. Nothing can really explain as to how this album was so great, but I'm glad it is. Considering the fact that the 2000s was full of this, and then a year later would feature this, it is pretty amazing considering just how much has changed, and yet this album hasn't aged one single bit. Although a lot of fans right now really don't like Back to School all that much, I personally can't not love it. Yes, I know that the labels made them fucking put it on. Yes, I know that the band doesn't really like it that much, but it doesn't take away from the fact that this band still at least made something good. With Feichi Cera being the actual proper introduction to the album, it just hits you with a rush of energy, and it's just very enticing to listen to. I can't for a single second doze off because this song keeps my attention all the way from the very beginning to the very end. From what I can gather, Digital Bath is considered one of the most darkest songs made by Deftones, and yeah, I can kind of see why. The instrumentation is very ominous. I mean, Chino legit talks about killing somebody, so there's that. Despite all of that though, this song is just enticing. It's alluring to the ear, and I think that once you listen to that fucking snare drum, it just hooks you in. Elite is legitimately one of my favorite Deftones tracks of all time, and if you don't care for it, what the fuck is wrong with you? This shit is a banger. Have you tried playing this song on guitar? I feel like a arthritis-riddled elderly man trying to play this shit. It is difficult. I don't know how the fuck Stephen Carpenter was able to do it, but my god, is this shit fantastic. Apparently the RX means medicine, so medicine queen, I guess we can call it that. It's a song about a parasitic relationship between a man and his drug dependent partner. He is willing to do everything and all that he can just to make sure that his woman is happy, even if it comes at the cost of cutting their life short. In my personal opinion, I think RX Queen is a lot more darker than Digital Path, but I don't know, to each his own. Street Carp legit is
fucking great. It's good. I love it. That hook is addictive, man. Oh my god. Apparently Teenager was made when Chino was still very young, and you know, I can really feel that young love that the band is trying to make, because it does feel like you're feeling your first heartbreak in life. And honestly, I just adore it so much. It's simple, it's soothing, it's non-complicated, and I like that shit. Knife Party is a blast. While I don't really listen to this song all that much, it's still a good time. It still is. On the rare chances that I'm able to sit down and listen to White Pony from its entirety, it just somehow keeps its charm, and I don't know how, but yeah, that's all I can really say. Korea's good. It's just good. I don't really know how to explain these things, man. It's just good. I can't even tell you what this song is about because I literally don't know. It's full of Chino Moreno's signature cryptic lyricism, and I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I like it. I'm not complaining. It's good. Passenger features some vocals by Maynard James Keenan. I'm not much of a Tool fan because I haven't listened to any other stuff as of yet, but he's a nice addition. It's pretty good. I love the instrumentation, and it's just an all-around fun time. And then you get to the #1 hit on this album, which is Change in the House of Flies, and oh my fucking god, I love it. It's a classic. I don't think there's anyone in the Deftones community that will look at this song and say, yeah, this is pretty shit. From the perspective of watching someone you knew slowly become the person that you are not familiar with, it's a timeless classic, and I will forever cherish this song with my heart. And then the album finishes off with what I believe is the most underrated song in Deftones history, Pink Maggot. I know that Pink Maggot is almost 8 minutes long, but god damn it, is it fucking great. Do yourself a huge favor, just lie down, listen to this shit. It's amazing. With all due respect, this is going on S, because why not? And I know that we only have one album here left. We all know what it is. Ha ha ha. The Gen Zer loves Around the Fur, but I don't think it's an S tier. I'm gonna make a really bold claim. This is Deftones' perfect album.
It is safe to say I'm pretty much a Around the Fur dick rider. I guess the only really thing I can say is what hasn't been said about Around the Fur. Some consider it to be the peak of their career. Others see it as the beginning of their best run. Well, I personally think just by itself, it's an amazing record. And for anyone that's curious, this is the 2011 pressing, because apparently that's the best sounding one, and every other release that came after that was pretty subpar.
But no, yeah, I love Around the Fur. That's just a no-brainer.
Do you want a more polished sound that is better than Adrenaline while also not being too wolf mood like White Pony would become? Around the Fur is definitely the album for you. I will never forget the night I finally listened to Deftones. I'd just gotten back from a really shitty Dunkin' Donuts shift, and I just kept seeing this video get popped up in my recommended feed. It had been roughly 2 weeks since I first initially saw the thumbnail of the video. And to be honest, seeing the black and white grayscaling really did not interest me all that much. I wasn't really that tuned into like heavy metal or anything of that sort. Hell, I didn't even think this band was metal at all. I thought they were just some band that got inspired by The Cure because the aesthetic looked rather similar. At least at that time it did, because I had no idea and still to this day don't really know much about The Cure. But just looking at that thumbnail gave me goth vibes, so yeah, I was just like, what is this content that is being fed to me? And I guess in a sense I was right, because Chino has stated that one of his biggest influences was The Cure. So yeah, maybe I didn't hit a home run on that like quick assumption, but at least I got the second base. And when I heard that snare drum for the first time, I was extremely confused. But when the guitar kicked in, oh mama, I was fucking enthralled. The crashing cymbals being fucking smashed by Abe Cunningham. I don't know if it's just my ears, but that guitar was out of tune. Despite that small little fact, I still was like, oh, this is getting good. The beautiful bass playing by Chi Cheng, it was all so majestic. Then I watched the rest of that video and I was extremely hooked. I remember looking up on Google where the song came from and then realizing this was the first song on an album, to which my fucking sleep deprived friend went, what? You're telling me this is the first song on an album? The first one, not like the 5th or the 7th. This is the first one and they're already knocking it out the park. And yeah, that's what inspired this video. So there's clearly a bias because wow, not a single part of me thought, oh yeah, this is gonna fucking be a banger video. No fucking cap. All I can really say before we get on what the album is, thank you. But enough ass kissing. I know we're here for the track list, so let's get really into that. After a stellar performance like My Own Summer, Labia kind of calms you down a little bit, says, hey, okay, listen, I know we were a little bit rough, but it's gonna be okay, like just chill. It was a lot more soft and more passive for the listener compared to literally the first track of this album. I will never in my life not melt near the second half of Mascara because, oh my god, even to this day, I still get a small chill up my spine when that second half hits because it's just so fucking good. After a sludgy and slow-paced track like Mascara, Around the Fur just comes in and picks you back up, saying, hey, motherfucker, we still got a few miles to run. Get moving. Record is an all-out fucking blast. I used to not like this song, but the amount of aggression that Chino's able to express through his screams, the very subtle but essential bass that plays in the back, it's just a beautiful mesh. And I think that seeing this album already going from the first to the fifth track and me loving every single moment of it, I thought in my head there was no way they could top this. And then Be Quiet and Drive started playing. Now, I don't know if you know this about me, but I very much love when a song is able to immerse you for just a few short moments and make you forget about everything that's going on with life. And Be Quiet and Drive is one of those songs. It's nearly 5 minutes, but every single moment does not feel wasted at all. It is just a beautiful track that helps relieve some sort of pain. That feeling of wanting to escape a place that you know you can't get out of because the outside is too new, while also being afraid of accepting the mundane. It's taking all of that and saying, fuck it, let me get on the road, let me forget about being a human for just a moment, give me some sort of peace of mind. And that song is that peace of mind for me. And I know I brought the vinyl up, but if you haven't heard it on this pressing, please do. It sounds fucking amazing, man. I don't know what it is about digital, but digital just can't get like the little fading out part. Like it cuts it off short on Spotify. If you crank the volume up a little bit, you're gonna hear like a little bit more of the song. Yeah, it's just fucking great. And after such a soothing experience like Be Quiet and Drive, Lotion just comes in and pulls you back into the nitty gritty. Say, hey motherfucker, we still got more energy. Don't fucking forget it. The most underrated track is Die of the Flu. It needs more fucking love. I think everybody can agree Die of the Flu is an underrated track. It needs more love. I love the aggressive strumming near the second half of the song where Chino is legit screaming his head off. And then you get Head Up featuring Max Light from Soulfly and also previous member of Sepultura, which we will get to Sepultura one day. I promise you, we will get to Sepultura one day. And while at face value this song is just aggressive, doing a little bit of research will actually show you how uplifting yet depressing this song actually is. The second half, which I consider the most memorable part of the song, being written by Dana Wells, who was the stepson of Max Cavalera, who had unfortunately passed due to a car crash in '96. And the reason I bring that up is because the second half is essentially a little bit of a tribute to him. The lyrics being inspired by something Dana actually wrote on a flyer. The full lyric being, walking through this world, you have to hold your head up high. And considering the amount of force that both Max and Chino were putting into this line alone, really goes to show that they were going through some tough times. And I think the very ending of the song, where everything is more stripped back, it's just this guitar, it's the bass and the drums alone, that really settles in that depressing aspect because I can hear sobbing in the back. I can hear wailing. And I think that alone made me love the track even more because it made me think, what the fuck is going on? Why is someone crying in the song? Which made me dig deeper into the lyrics, which then led me to discovering that this song was actually a tribute to Dana Wells. And boy, what a tribute it is, because my god, for the first week that I discovered this album, this was my most played song. But I think as time has passed on, that title has been moved to another track, and it's not MX. Despite MX being a good closer, I genuinely do love MX. It's great. The live version that they did at Glastonbury is fucking beautiful, and I think if you haven't listened to that version, please do. It's so dark. It's so seductive. It is so mesmerizing that I don't think I could really do it any justice. Just do yourself a favor and listen to the motherfucking album. You don't gotta get the vinyl. Boot up Apple Music, YouTube Music, Spotify, fucking Napster. I don't care how you do it. Listen to this album. It deserves the attention. It deserves the high acclaim that it gets because it's just that good. I've been obsessed with this album since I first saw it. I thought maybe an album released later down the line would dethrone Around the Fur and then stand the test of time. I thought White Pony would be that, but it wasn't. Around the Fur maintains to this day my favorite, in my personal opinion, the most perfect album made by Deftones. Yeah, maybe I'm glazing a bit. Maybe it's just because I'm young. Maybe it's recency bias. I don't know, but I am not gonna apologize for the amount of enthusiasm and the amount of love I have for this album. I fucking adore it. If If you haven't listened to it already, again, one more time, just listen to the album. And that's not even without going into Damon, because at first I didn't like it, but oh my God, have I been stuck listening to that song for days and then weeks and then months. It's just a beautiful record. It's, in my opinion, the perfect record by Deftones. And with that being said, I've made a new tier, the 10 out of 10. And guess what fucking album's going in there? Thank you for watching my video. If you liked it, please subscribe, please like, leave a comment if you disagree with me. I don't know. I'm not going to read them anyways because I'm a lazy piece of shit. But I want to apologize just for not making the own video. So I hope that this is a better substitute. Because hey, at least this came out, you know, so there's that. If you have a band or artist you want me to react to and make a tier list on further down the line, drop it down in the comments. I want to be able to diversify my musical palette. So hell, give me Mayhem. Give me fucking John Denver. I don't know. Give me some sort of synth pop that wasn't made since the 80s. But as always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Papabandana, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out of here. We finally got it.